Welcome to Business as a Magical Practice, where your business is the vehicle for your self-integration and soul evolution. My name is Sam Garcia, and I'm the founder of Dirty Alchemy Digital Marketing. And I'll be guiding you through how you can use your business as a spiritual practice and what magical businesses are doing to hit their goals and change the world. Together, we'll be relating the mystical to the world of business so that our work can unite spirit and matter, shadow and light, conscious and unconscious. Let's dive in. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Business as a Magical Practice. And today we're talking about creating more time and spaciousness. And if you're a listener, a longtime listener, you remember a few months back when I posted an episode about mastering time. And I'm definitely considering this one to be a next chapter, a second edition of that episode. So if you haven't listened to that one, it's really good. Definitely go check it out. But I wanted to bring this up today because I've been doing a bunch of sales calls or discovery calls for the Alchemical BUsiness Intensive since we start on October 1st for people who have applied and who are considering joining. And there's been a recurring theme, and that is a recurring theme, whether people are at $1,500 a month in revenue or $30,000 in a month in revenue. And that is this lack of focus and using more projects, more to-dos, more social media channels, more whatever to cover up issues. And that could be business issues or personal issues. And this is a significant problem if you want to create a business that isn't running your life, you aren't the classic entrepreneur that is working 80 hours a week so that you can be making more money or in that hustle culture. And it does have a lot to do with time. So an example I wanted to bring up was one of the women I talked with is not fully booked with her one-on-one sessions. She's a healer. And she's not only not fully booked, but she's also undercharging. So there's this lack of revenue and resources and influx of cash coming into her business. And at the same time, she has launched 2 group programs, 2 courses already, and she didn't hit her goal for either of those launches of 2 separate programs. And this is, I'm not sure if you already identified that there's a lot of things going on. She's putting a lot of energy into her business by promoting her one-on-one services and promoting her group programs and then a different group program. And there's a huge energy leak in this. Okay. So not only is there a wide range of offerings, even if it is just quote unquote, just 3 offerings, but it's also a bunch of different things to promote and marketing channels. So when we were talking, she identified that 80% of her clients so far have come from one source, has come from a specific affiliate source, not from social media, not from her email list, but from one affiliate source. So there's already so much clarity on where she should actually focus her attention and focus her energy because something is already working, getting one-on-one clients from that specific affiliate source. But instead of doing that, she is spreading out her energy by posting on social media, emailing her list, creating new programs, all the things, and being exhausted and not seeing massive results. So we tend, all of us tend as humans to try and make life more complicated or our business harder than it needs to be. And this is often to cover up trauma or procrastinate scary things, right? So if you're someone who is actually using productivity and using a bunch of projects and busyness and to-dos in order to cover up the fact that you don't want to deal with your depression or your anxiety or whatever trauma, or you want to avoid a marriage that you're unhappy with, or be numbed out from a body that's hurt or that you're dissatisfied with. There's so many ways that we can actually use work and projects and an inefficient, lazy use of time in order to cover up issues in other parts of our lives or other parts of our business. So procrastinating the scary stuff. So if you're afraid to raise your prices, even though you know you need to, I'm going to work on these other things and launch this other course instead of just raising my prices on the thing that I already am selling. Or I don't want to launch the podcast that I know that I need to put out into the world, or the YouTube channel or whatever, get more visible in X, Y, and Z way. So I'm going to work on these other things and busy myself over here. So I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I don't have the bandwidth to focus on the thing that deep down I know that I need to be focusing on. So what to do instead? What you want to do instead is focus. Focus your marketing energy. So that looks like choosing one social media channel or one lead source and really double down and systematize and get clear on what's working and what's not. So if you have only gotten clients from referrals and you're not fully booked yet, and you don't have a wait list of demand, you should double down on getting more referrals and creating a system to encourage people to give you referrals, because you know it works. It's already worked. It's proven. Instead of launching a podcast or posting a bunch of times on Instagram. I mean, if you're someone who just focuses on referrals and you are at that point where you have an overflow of clients where you're at a wait list, yes, you should start actually expanding into other channels of lead sources, because you have an overflow of revenue, and what's going to take you to that next level is not focusing on that one channel, but to expand your channels. But for someone who is in a sticking point, if you can focus your marketing energy, whether that is focusing on one channel that you just need to get clear on, or focusing on starting another channel, if you're ready to start the next channel, like, it's going to make such a big difference. And then the next one is focusing your delivery energy. So what that looks like is start focusing on one offer in the beginning, one offer at a time, and then starting to stack them. So if you are a course creator, it is going to be on making the course that you have incredibly potent. You get good results from customers every single time they go through it. And you get really clear on how to market and sell that. You get really clear on what you need to be doing to deliver that course, and what your team needs to be doing, and how can you automate more. And just building and building and building on how to make it more efficient, how to make it less time consuming. And that ultimately leads to more profit, and ultimately leads to more time, because you've freed up time by creating this system that's working. So suddenly, if you marry those two together, you have a marketing system that works for you and a delivery system that works for you. And you can imagine, what I like to imagine is, for online businesses or for online service providers, or just service providers in general, you can kind of think of marketing and delivery as on this seesaw or teeter-totter. So if you're watching me on YouTube, you can see my hands. But with a teeter-totter, marketing and sales is on one side and delivery is on the other side. As you put more and more time and energy into marketing and sales, it is going to naturally fill up the delivery side. But if you overfill the delivery side of your business, where you have all the clients you could possibly have and you're at capacity, and you overestimate how much you can actually deliver on, suddenly you aren't spending any time on marketing and sales, and that teeter-totter gets off balance, and you're all delivering, no marketing and sales. And then when you're done with providing the service or delivering the deliverable to the clients on the delivery side, but you haven't been spending any time on marketing and sales, then there's no clients to actually serve. And you have to go back to putting a ton of time and energy into marketing and sales. And this is what really creates the feast or famine mode, is that not spending so much time on marketing and sales that you overfill on the delivery side of things, and then you're overfilled on the delivery side of things, so you don't have any time to do marketing and sales. And it's just this feast or famine mode of, I need more clients, I have too many clients, I need more clients, I have too many clients, I need more money, I don't have enough money, right? So what can actually get out of that is making sure you're pricing your stuff high enough, of course, so that you can take on less clients. But it's also, once you get really focused on what works and what doesn't work with your marketing and sales, and cutting out all of the stuff that doesn't matter, you're going to free up time, right? To actually market and sell your coaching or your courses or your graphic design services, whatever it is going to get easier and more in flow. And just like on the delivery side, if you get more and more efficient at delivering results for your clients, or systematizing your online course or whatever it is, as that gets more efficient, it becomes more scalable. You can take on more clients if you want, or you can spend more time on other projects. So I just wanted to throw that in since we're talking about time. And what's another thing to do instead, and this is a more personal thing beyond the strategy, is to commit to not being busy. Can you commit to not being busy? Because it is a choice. It really, really is a choice of whether or not you're busy. Are you being strategic in how you use your time? Are you saying no to things that don't matter right now? Are you saying no to things that aren't actually moving the needle forward in terms of the goals in your life? That's how you prevent yourself from not being busy. And we'll get to in a second of why that's actually important. Like, why would you actually want to do that? But committing to not being busy includes ruthlessly cutting out what isn't helping. So ruthlessly cutting out the projects or the systems or the habits that you are, the tasks that you're doing in your business, or that your team is doing in your business, that don't actually matter, right? That's where we're talking about, is like, is Instagram actually getting you clients, or are you spending 10 or 20 hours a week on Instagram scrolling and posting and commenting, and it's not getting you any clients when all of your clients are coming from a different source? Or is it the thing that's getting you a ton of clients and you do need to be spending all of that time there? Can you get more efficient on it? So first of all, cutting out what isn't actually helping, that's the first step in being not busy. And creating spaciousness. And the next is ruthlessly delegating what you don't need to do. So after you've cut out the things that aren't moving the needle forward in your business or your life, then delegating everything that you don't need to be doing. What needs to be done, but you don't need to be doing, if that makes sense. So handing over admin tasks or customer service tasks or video editing to your team, if those are the things that you've identified as important for your business, handing that over to people, and not using the excuse of, oh, but it doesn't take that much time for me to do, or, oh, no one can do it as good as I can, or, oh, I don't like how they do it. Like, those are just excuses. And excuses to be busy and not and be in control, like grasping control of your business, when what will really move you forward is allowing yourself to be supported and being willing to communicate what you need from the people who are supporting you. So fourth thing for what to do instead. So the first one was focusing your marketing energy, then focusing your delivery energy, then committing to not being busy. And our fourth one is to review. And we've talked about this before. It's very important. So we're actually spending the time after you've done a launch or after you've done a promotion or just in general on a weekly or monthly basis in your business, review what is working and what's not working. Review how you're spending your time. Getting really clear on how you're actually spending your time and what your energy is and your team's energy too, what that is being devoted to, and get clear on what works and what doesn't work, what actually has a return on investment. And review, second part of this, why you're putting things off. Because there are different projects and there's different intentions that you have in your business, whether that is launching a course or that is starting a podcast or responding to that one email or asking for that price increase that you're putting off. All of us have them. The things that we're putting off that we know that we need to do, but for whatever reason, we're putting them off. And that could be because we're scared, we have a trauma response. We actually need to review those. Because often the things that we're putting off either needs to be cut, like there's no reason we should be doing them in the first place, or we need to address the underlying issue of why we're putting those things off. So scooting forward into why does actually focusing our energy and our time matter? And it's because focus is a magical practice in and of itself. Your attention is sacred. Okay, your attention is sacred. And when we are actually focusing on things, what will actually bubble up are things that you need to address. So beyond just like, if you can imagine the sun coming down on the earth on a sunny day, and it's hitting everything in your neighborhood, but you take a magnifying glass and it suddenly focuses that one ray of sunlight, and you're able to burn an ant because of that focused intention. Even though that exact same sunlight is being dispersed over your entire neighborhood, the one magnifying glass is able to actually focus the energy of the sunlight and kill the ant. I know, kind of a gruesome analogy here. But that's the power of your focused attention. And beyond that, with the bubbling up of what things you need to address, if you're committed, I'm focusing on this one project for this quarter. This is my big focus for the month or whatever it is. And you're committed to not busying yourself with other things and things that are just wasting your time and checking social media, checking your DMs 5 times a day. If that's not directly a part of your marketing strategy, maybe it is, it can be. But what will bubble up with that free time, because you're not wasting time on bullshit, is stuff that actually needs to be addressed. Okay, there are actually going to be things that bubble up from your conscious that needs to be addressed. That's powerful healing. And all it takes is your focused attention. So without focus, you could actually be blocking your growth and blocking your business growth. Because if you're already exhausted and too busy, how could you double your business? How could you grow another 50% or 100%? You're not going to. You're not going to, because if you're already exhausted and too busy, how could you ever rationally think that you could handle double the amount than what you have now? And what's probably happening is most of what you're doing now is just absolutely not necessary for your business. You're also blocking your growth by being too busy or tired for your best ideas. Okay. If you're exhausted, or even just tired at the end of the day of doing a bunch of things that don't actually matter. You didn't give time and space, time and spaciousness for your best ideas, the divine to channel through you, or an extra hour to think to problem solve, or to think about a better way to communicate your offer, a better way to get your clients results. That's a much better use of time than scrolling on Instagram or checking your email 10 times a day. So looping back around to time, since that's ultimately what we're talking about today, I want to give you some statistics on multitasking. You may or may not have heard them before. You've probably heard them before, but I'm telling you again because they're just so pronounced. So it takes us, when we multitask, it actually lowers our IQ 15 points. Ouch. And then when we do multitask, or just quickly check Instagram again, or quickly check our email one more time, it takes us 15 minutes to get back to what we were working on in the first place. So if you dedicate an hour to writing a blog post, and 20 minutes in, you're like, oh, I'm just going to check Instagram. You've wasted 15 minutes of that hour by your brain not working at its fullest capacity, because it takes 15 minutes to get us back to that task. And then I've also heard a lot of people say, well, like, I know some people's not good at multitasking, but I'm good at multitasking. Some people are good at multitasking. I'm good at it. And they've actually shown that 2.5% of the population process tasks simultaneously. That means that 97.5% of the population can't multitask. Do you really think you're in that teeny tiny little pool of 2.5%? You're probably not. Okay, so not a good excuse. You think you're good at multitasking. You're not. Okay. And then one more to end my statistics. The average employee is only productive 2 hours and 53 minutes per day. So in an 8-hour day of work that they're being paid for, they're only productive under 3 hours a day. Less than half of the day is productive. So, I mean, why even are we convinced that we should be spending 40 hours a week on our business? I mean, obviously in the beginning, when you're brand new to business and you're experimenting to see what actually works, like, yes, you need to spend more time on your business. But once you actually get in the groove of your business and you're able to hire people, or even before then, before you're able to hire people, like, realize, okay, I'm probably only going to be productive 3 hours today. Or like back in my 9-to-5 job, I was legitimately only productive for 3 hours in a day. So why not make those commit to a 3-hour a day work week, or a 3-hour a day work schedule? I'm just putting out some ideas. What if you just condensed your work hours, condensed your attention to those 3 hours a day that you were spending in your 9-to-5 job to working? I mean, yes, of course, we can be productive for more hours a day if you are strategic with your time, if you are willing to master time, if you are willing to cut out all the distractions. Or you can just feel like, okay, I'm okay with the 3-hour a day work schedule. And that's an aside. I just was blown away by that. Companies are paying employees pretty much for 15 hours a week, 40 hours a week when they're only working 15 hours a week. Okay, moving on. Sorry, little rant there. So on all of those stats pretty much are the micro level of multitasking, right? When it has to go do with our day-to-day and switching between tasks from one task to another, or trying to do multiple tasks at once, even though you're not doing multiple tasks at once. You're just very inefficiently switching between a couple different tasks at once. Okay, but on the macro level, to go back to the beginning of this episode, our priorities over a quarter or a year can be focused as well. So focusing our attention at the task at hand to prevent multitasking, but focusing our priorities over a month, over a quarter, like, of course, we're going to be more efficient if that's the case. Of course, we're going to be more efficient when our intention and our energy isn't being spilled over multiple projects in multiple directions at once. This is what gives us a condensed work time. This is what gives us condensed work hours. And just a little example of this in my personal life recently that made all of this so tangible recently is me and my husband are looking to purchase a house in the next year or the next few years. It's not super important to us, the deadline. It's like it's going to happen in the next few years. We have some weird specifications around farmland for my husband, who is a regenerative farmer, and where it's going to be. But anyways, an opportunity dropped into our lap to purchase the property that we've been on for the last 2.5 years. And we had first right of refusal, and we had a really tight deadline of essentially you have 10 days to put an offer in, which includes getting pre-qualified for a mortgage for that amount of money. I've never bought a house before. I've never researched what is involved in buying a house. I did not know that you can be pre-qualified for or pre-approved for a mortgage ahead of time. And all this time, we've been kind of just like checking Zillow from time to time and seeing what's available and like, oh, this is cool, or this is not. And we never realized that we had to be pre-approved for a mortgage in order to make an offer on a house. So in this 10-day period, we had to find lenders who are willing to work with self-employed people, because I am self-employed and I have always been self-employed, and I changed my business name and I restructured it for taxes over the last 12 months. And I do a bunch of very legal business expense write-offs, and like that was affecting. So there were all of these potential obstacles to being pre-approved for a mortgage of this size. And it was like, okay, we have 10 days. Let's figure out, like, talk to as many loan officers as we can. What are different banks that we can go to get a loan for this, and submit my self-employment information. And a few of them didn't want to work with, quite a few didn't want to work with me because I am like not an easy sell, because I do own my own business, and that for a lot of lenders, they just don't want to work with you. And so, okay, who can I call? I ended up talking to a few of my family members who are in real estate, and one who has done a lot of real estate investing and who has bought expensive properties before. And there was just such focused attention around, okay, we just have to make this work in the next 10 days because we want to get an offer in. And talking, we had to find a realtor, and we had to, there's just so many things in this very condensed period of time to make it work. And I mean, for the first 7 days, like, no, I couldn't find a mortgage company that would work with me as a self-employed person. And like, then all of the pieces started falling together and falling into place. And I was talking to the right people, and I understood like the right phrasing to talk to people in, and what documents I needed to have, and working with my bookkeeper to amend my taxes. So instead, like to cancel out some of the business expenses that I had written off and pay extra taxes, like there was just a lot of motion in a very condensed period of time because of that focused attention. And what ended up happening is a much better deal to buy a 5-acre property fell in our lap for a much better deal during this time period. And like, there's no question in my mind that it was absolute proof for me that just by focusing my attention, suddenly this quote unquote out of the blue opportunity fell into our laps for a perfect property that we want to purchase that had nothing to do with the original property that we were trying to get a mortgage for. It was just because of our focused attention on, we're going to buy a house in the next 10 days. We're making an offer on a house in the next 10 days that actually allowed this other out of the blue opportunity to fall in our lap. And I see this in marketing all the time too. Like when you decide, like, I'm committing to a marketing plan, and this is what I'm just giving random ideas. Like, I'm not saying like promoting this as a marketing plan. Like, okay, I'm going to post on Instagram 3 times a week, and I'm going to DM one person a day, and I'm going to ask for a referral once a week. Like, if you commit to a plan and you take consistent action on it, it's time and time again, I see people get results from seemingly out of the blue. Like, I was focusing all of my marketing energy in this one channel, and I don't know how this other client from over here found me and decided to start working with me. It's like, it's seemingly unrelated, but they're absolutely related because you're putting focused attention into a goal. Okay. Anyways, that was an aside. But it just the example with the house just became so clear to me of how quickly we can make things happen when we focus our attention on them. Where it's been, I don't know, 6 months of us just like very casually looking on Zillow and chatting with people about potentially buying a house on Maui. And because of this deadline, this very condensed deadline, it actually unlocked something that is a yes for us. So you can actually do this with your business by setting your priorities, cutting out the fat, cutting out the shit that is actually not moving your needle forward to hit your goals, and focus your attention on it on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. So much more is going to get done. So much magic is going to pour into your life to support you in that goal than if you're wasting your energy in a bunch of different directions and you're lazy with how you spend your time. You can be hustling and super busy and still be lazy with your time because you're not prioritizing what matters. So doing everything at once equals confused priorities. It also leads to confused communication. You can work with me in this way and that way, and I have this offer and that offer, which is going to lead to a confused audience. And often your clients being confused on how to get results with you. Because when you can actually focus your attention and focus your communication and focus on how you get people results, it's going to ripple out. Okay. So this is also why launches work. Okay, like this is why launches work, because we're putting focused attention on whatever we're selling. If you're selling an online program for a 10-day open cart window, and you have a pre-launch where you're trying to get people excited for the launch, and at the end of it, they have to make a decision by the 10th day because the doors are closing to your program. People have to make a decision. You're forcing them to make a decision, which is a really beautiful thing. We're also lazy with our decision making in this day and age, and we're just leaking energy with our undecided decisions. Okay. So with launches, why they actually work is we're focusing people's attention on, this is what I'm offering right now. This is how you work with me. This is why it matters. You have to make a decision by this date. So that's why launches work. Focused attention. And that leads to time and more time and spaciousness for you. So very little exercise that I want to leave this episode off with. It is so simple. It is so potent. Please try it out. Is to set your top 1 to 3 to-dos the night before or in the morning, before you turn your phone off of airplane mode, before you check your email. And then complete those 1 to 3 items before you turn your phone off of airplane mode, before you check your email. Okay. No other tasks come first. You are going to end your day feeling so much more accomplished and fulfilled. You can end your day right there. With that focused attention, you will be creating more time and spaciousness in your schedule, in your life. Okay, so this is a fun episode. Really excited for you guys to really allow this to settle into your nervous system, because yes, it can be something that you need to work on to actually do on a consistent basis, because we're so trained to be lazy with our attention and trained to be distracted, encouraged to be distracted by our culture, especially work culture. So I'm really excited for you to start working on this, because it'll change so much. And on that note, if you are looking for support in this arena and you want help and community in actually setting priorities and focusing your attention and actually growing your business, systematizing your business, I encourage you to apply to the Alchemical BUsiness Intensive. It is open right now. We start on October 1st. So that is October 1st, 2021, if you're listening in the future. And this is a 6-month group program, small group program, very high touch. And the whole point is to align, magnetize, and amplify. So we are aligning with the soul of your business, because your business is a separate entity than you, and also aligning your current self with being the visionary CEO of your business, elevating into that archetype, working in your business. We're focusing on magnetism in terms of our copywriting and in terms of our launching, so that we can be magnetizing the perfect people that we want to be working with towards us and into our programs and into our one-on-one services, whatever you are selling. And then finally, amplifying. So amplifying, scaling your business, amplifying the energy that you're putting into your business by creating systems and by having a team to support you. So it is not just about you in your meat suit running your entire business, but you're actually supported, and it can amplify and scale way further beyond just you. And of course, with that, it's so that you are supported in being in your zone of genius, delivering your highest gifts, being a catalyst for change in the world, because you're not bogged down by busyness. So as I said, we kick off October 1st. It goes for 6 months. I'm so excited. We start with a 3-day virtual event, and then we go into weekly calls. We have a Slack community, because we're transitioning off of Facebook. There are trainings, tech trainings, so many SOPs, standard operating procedures for you to take and run with. Your team gets access to the entire program. We have a feature of copy review, so you can bring your copy into the program, and the copywriter on my team and myself will review your copy and give you feedback, so that you can really scale your messaging and make sure you're attracting the right people to your business. If if you have an inkling that this is the support you're really nourishing right now, I encourage you to apply. You can go to thedirtyalchemy.com/ABI, or if you're on Instagram all the time, and just head over to @thedirtyalchemy, go to the link in bio, you'll get a direct link in there. And you'll fill out the application and you'll be able to directly book a call on my calendar to chat with me, see if it's a right fit for you right now. And so you can get started. And yeah, the countdown has begun. We start so soon. And I'm so excited. The people who have said yes so far are just so incredible. They're doing such amazing work in the world. So I can't wait to see your application. And have a good week, everyone. I will see you next Thursday.